Okay, great. So thank you. As I mentioned, this meeting is being recorded and will be shared with parents and guardians of IMSA next week. So again, thank you very much for joining us today. We are the Parent Association Council of IMSA, the PAC for short. And just wanted to share with you a few things about the PAC for those of you who may be new to IMSA. The mission of the PAC is, which we are comprised of all the parents and guardians of current IMSA students, is to enhance the educational experience of IMSA students by working collaboratively with the students, faculty, and administration in all aspects of academic and residential life. We are committed to the belief that quality education can be achieved only through parental involvement and support. So a few more things about the PAC. We are a separate legal entity, nonprofit organization from IMSA, and all the parents and guardians of current IMSA students are automatically members of the PAC, and there are no membership dues. So welcome to all of you who are members of the PAC. And we are run entirely by parent guardian volunteers from across the state. We also host monthly meetings, and we have guest speakers from IMSA staff and faculty, as well as student groups, and they share information with parents and guardians and answer questions live during the meeting. So you will see that we do have quite a lineup of guest speakers today. So we welcome all of them. And then we also host regular speaker sessions throughout the year. So we cover timely subjects. So today we don't have a speaker session because we know that we have a lot of questions from parents and guardians today. So we wanted to make sure to have the time to get those answered for you. And then also just wanted to reiterate that the Return to Learn and Work plan is out there. So if you haven't had a chance to read it, we suggest that you do take that time before your students move in to IMSA next week, because it does have a lot of information for you, and some of the questions that you might have might be answered through that Learn and Work plan. But if you have other questions that aren't covered by there, that's why we have some of these guest speakers today that will share information and hopefully answer some of those questions that you have still. And also just wanted to say, Kyle Blay and I had the opportunity to participate in that committee. And so we know the amount of work that went into it and thought amongst all the different stakeholders throughout IMSA to put that together. So again, we appreciate being part of it, and we thank all those that were involved to help put that together. Okay, next I'd like to introduce IMSA's current president, Dr. Evan Glazer. So Dr. Glazer, are you on?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Maria. It is wonderful to join you this morning. I can't tell you how excited I am to begin the school year. I know that the IMSA community has been through a lot, as well as the rest of the country and world, but IMSA in particular, because I know how important it is for the social emotional well-being of our students in having a sense of physical connection. Just to share a little bit about myself, I have my background's in math and science. I was trained as a researcher, however, love working with young adults and teenagers. And instead of going into higher education, following my doctoral work, I pursued a path in school leadership in schools that have a high value for research. So I was able to really capture the best of both worlds. I am a native to Illinois. I grew up here and began my career here, and then have been on the relatively, for the most part, on the East Coast for the last 18 years in different leadership roles in schools that promote kind of a progressive approach to education and the value project-based work, because without having a ceiling to curriculum, but rather a generative spirit where students are creating ideas and pursuing projects that are a reflection of their passions and their identity, and sometimes that's interwoven, which is really fantastic when you can look at a graduate and recognize how their unique contributions influenced who they are today and how they're all distinguishable. That's something I absolutely love as being an educator. I have a family of my wife and 3 small children, ages 3, 5, and 7, who have moved to the area. We're super excited. We arrived in late June, and we're getting adjusted. And certainly, I've enjoyed getting to know colleagues and students at IMSA this summer. We ran both our extension programs and our Excel program in person. So I had the pleasure to meet a lot of our returning students who are tutors, some of our faculty through who are teaching those sessions, as well as through regular office hours, and of course a whole bunch of rising 10th graders. So I'm really excited to get to know all the students as move-in day approaches. And just want to share some thoughts about PAC and parent organizations in general. I deeply value the collaboration between the school leadership and colleagues at school with parent engagement. It's super important to me. I have found through my experience in working with parent leadership groups that parents enhance the quality of experience for students, whether it's access to expertise or whether it is creating a better learning experience, strengthening the culture, bringing the spirit alive, forming communication pathways to parents so they have a deep understanding of how the school works. And I imagine that's super important for our IMSA families, given that you don't spend a lot of time on campus, particularly this year because of the pandemic. So one silver lining I think that we have is that Zoom has brought families closer together because everyone lives around the whole state. And so you're able to have access in some ways that maybe you didn't before. And so I look forward to looking for ways in which we can stay connected over the course of the year and how parents can stay involved. And I just want to express my gratitude and appreciation for supporting healthy communication pathways and engaging the school in a way that will create great learning experiences for our kids, both academically and social emotionally. I really appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Glazer. We really appreciate you being here and taking the time to introduce yourself to all of us. Next, we have Katie Berger, our Chief Student Affairs Officer, to give us some updates in that arena.
Good morning, everyone. Once again, thank you for the invitation to join you all at the first PAC meeting of the year. And I just want to commend the PAC leadership for their foresight in planning a meeting before the school year begins. Most years, the first time the PAC has the opportunity to really interact with parents is on Parent Day. And there's a lot going on Parent Day. And so this is just really a wonderful opportunity to start to make meaningful connections, to get some great updates, and to identify some ways for, especially our newer parents, ways for you to get involved. And the PAC is a wonderful resource for that. I want to thank the PAC for allowing me to go towards the beginning of the agenda today. Those of you who have been here before know I usually kind of wrap it up at the end. So thank you for accommodating my schedule today and letting me go early. I want to share some reminders with all of you about the things that were sent out via email this week. Students, you should have, and parents should have received access to our Return to Learn and Work training module through Canvas. And that was really designed to make sure that everyone is aware of the guidelines for safety when returning to campus. And so we really want to ask you to engage with that plan and review it, so there are no surprises when you arrive on campus this week already. The focal point is really to understand and abide by the health and safety procedures, because we know that this is a community effort and that we all need to do this together. The other intent is really to capture consent for our COVID testing protocols. So as a part of this training, you will really take 3 actions. One is that you will sign off that you have read, understand, and will abide by all things related to Return to Learn and Work. And that's really signing off on our Titan Pact. So that is a document that you're going to download and you're going to save and you're going to email into us that you've signed off on it. You'll have a copy to refer back to. The other two pieces are our COVID testing waivers. So one is for the saliva test that we will be using for surveillance testing. The other is for the Buy Next Now rapid test, which we will use if a student has a known exposure or if they're symptomatic. And so we really do need both of those completed in advance of you moving in. For those, it's really a form that you're filling out. So once you submit it to us, the information disappears. And so I know some people are like, well, what did I just sign? I'd like to keep a copy for my records. If that is the case, if you'd like a copy for your records, we're going to have those available for you on move-in day. So we'll be able to give you a hard copy. You know, those of you who have moved in before, you get a folder when you move in. We'll be able to give that to you to keep in your folder to take with you as far as all of your MSEP paperwork. So please make sure that you're taking some time to complete that ahead of move-in. And we did release a student affairs newsletter on Thursday. So that was August 12th. If you need to search your email or your spam folder, because I know some people have shared that things are going to their spam folder. So definitely check for that. It has some additional information about the Return to Learn and Work Canvas training and the contact person if you're running into any challenges. And his name is Dr. Rich Schultz. In the move-in, or excuse me, in the newsletter, we also shared a lot of information related to move-in. This year, we are conducting 4 move-in days as opposed to 3 move-in days. Space things out a little bit and allow us to do some intentional programming for all of our grade levels of students. In the past, we've put our juniors and seniors together, and that's not really going to be the best way to serve our students this year. So we're splitting those out. There is no specific assigned time to move in. So if you are a sophomore, for example, and your move-in day is Thursday, the time is from 1 to 3. You can show up at 1 o'clock. You can show up at 2:55. I'm not going to recommend that you show up at 2:55 for a whole bunch of reasons. My colleagues would appreciate if you didn't show up at 2:55, but really any time in that time block, we will be available. About 2:58, 2:59 is when we're going to start picking up the phone and calling and saying, are you still coming? Because we want to make sure that you are here, that you get everything taken care of that you need to get taken care of, that you get your belongings in your room. And then we will have a meeting for the parents shortly after that move-in time frame to receive a welcome from some of my colleagues and myself and do a high-level overview of all of the kind of residential life expectations. And that will be shared by our RCs. Normally we do that in the wings and more of an intimate setting. This year, we're actually going to do it as a large group in a larger space because the wing commons are just a little too small. So there are some things that we're going to do that are very much the same and some things that'll be modified just a little bit. If you're a parent, you should plan to be leaving campus for sophomores and juniors around 4:30. And for seniors, early afternoon after we have that meeting and you make sure that your student is set and ready to go. This morning, we received a few questions from the PAC that we know some of you are anxious to have answered. So I am going to rapid fire try to get through these questions, and then I'll turn it over to some of my colleagues for anything else that is missed that they can follow up on in their sections. The first question is, what is the plan for sanitizing and cleaning dorm rooms by janitorial services? That is all, and Comfort laughs because or Dr. Quashie Anderson laughs because I like to cite my sources, but in the Return to Work and Learn plan, which I always have handy, it is on page 34. There's a whole section and it talks about cleaning bathrooms every 2 hours. It talks about what we're doing for high touch surfaces. So in the essence of saving time, and because you're all going to see it in the Return to Learn and Work training that you're going to do on Canvas, check out page 34. It's all there. Will there be more than one entrance available for students to go into the main building? Right now, we're going to stick to the main entrance. We want to make sure that everybody is wearing their ID, their credential, that everyone has been temperature checked. We always have the opportunity to expand that and increase the number of doors, but for right now, we're sticking to the main entrance. Are there locker rooms available during winter for students to keep coats, etc.? We have cubbies that we are going to be utilizing and backpack hooks that we're going to be utilizing in sort of the main area of the main building that's near the cafeteria in the old caf. Some of our returning students may remember that in the past, they just kind of dropped their backpacks on the floor before going into the cafeteria. Any of you parents who have been here and seen it, it's like the sea of backpacks. We're going to try to get away from that. We don't really want people's backpacks touching each other. And quite honestly, let's get away from the trip hazard. So we're really going to encourage students to use those cubbies and to use those hooks. And then we are working with our wellness class on how they are going to be utilizing the lockers down by the gym. So lots of different options for storing personal belongings right away and as we get into the winter. Questions about the track and the gym and the swimming pool and weight room being available. The fitness center will be available with supervision and with limited capacity in that space. The swimming pool we're going to reserve really just for our athletes, our swim team, and any needs of the wellness team at this point. We can always expand that, but for right now, we're going to keep it limited. We will be able to use the gyms, we will be able to use the track. And so for the most part, our students are going to have great access to all of those facilities because we know health and wellness is really important. Physical activity is really good for your mental health too. What is the accessibility to choice of food if students have dietary or religious restrictions? We actually during Welcome Week have every single group of students sitting down and meeting with our new food service provider, Lexington. So you can hear exactly how you access the menus, how you read in the cafeteria, all of the different dietary designations that they have labeled on the food as it's out. And they'll talk to you about the opportunity to sit down and have a meeting. I know some families have already met with our nurse and or a member of our food service staff to talk about dietary restrictions. And so my recommendation to you, if you do have dietary restrictions and you're concerned or you have some questions, head to our website and check out the food service section and you'll see the menu of what is going to be offered and how things are labeled as far as if they have nuts, if they have gluten, if they're vegan friendly. And then from there, if you have questions, let's get you set up to have that one-on-one meeting so that there's a consultation based on what you need. And that would be my recommendation as far as the practice goes. So that's something that your RC can help you set up when you arrive on campus, or anyone in the student life office can help you coordinate. So just stop by and see us and we'll get that taken care of for you. Do students need permission from the RC or parent to be able to go off campus if they want to go running or if they're training for cross country? The short answer is yes. They would need to sign out to leave campus and go on like a walking trip, let's say, if they're going to run off campus. And we would encourage them to go with a friend. If you're running as a part of cross country team, no additional sign out needed because you're going to be with our cross country coach. If you are going to utilize the many, many acres of property that we have at IMSA, no need to sign out because you're still kind of on our property. But if you're looking to go further out, we want to know that you're leaving. We want to know when you come back. And so we would ask you to sign out in your RC office for that. Tips on room refrigerator, transport, ship on move-in day. Will there be carts and dollies? Oh, yes, there will be carts and dollies, and much in part thanks to the PAC, because they just purchased new collapsible carts for each of the halls that will be used on move-in day, in addition to all of the carts and things that we already have. So no worries, we will have lots of things to help you transport and lighten the load for you. And again, we want to thank PAC for that wonderful donation. And last question regarding club sports. How do we arrange for students to leave campus and come back after practice? When it comes to the first few weeks of school, we are asking all students to stay on campus. And so if you are requiring an exception, my recommendation, email myself and Minerva. I know some people are emailing me and some people are emailing Minerva, and that's good. And right now, just because of the volume, she and I are like rapid fire, whoever can get to it first, and we have a shared spreadsheet. So just email both of us and that'll get you the quickest response. Because you do need permission to sign out in those first couple of weeks. Beyond that, as of right now, you would be able to come to campus to the RC office outside of class times and sign your student out without any advance permission. My caution is that our students have a lot of required experiences in the evenings and sometimes on the weekends. And so making sure that, oh, I have another show and tell item, you print out the calendar to know what is going on and so that you're not double booking your student. We also, I want to caution you, we will continue to reevaluate the safety and health of our community in relation to COVID and the Delta variant. And so we may at times say, it's really going to be better for us to keep students on campus and really designate times when students are going home, as opposed to having a constant flux of people coming and going. I want to be really honest with you all, and I know Dr. Glazer has said it as well, that we are continuing to monitor and continuing to reevaluate. So what our practices are now, they may evolve and they may shift over time, really with the best interest of our students and their health and safety in mind. So those are the 8 questions that were submitted. Unfortunately, today I'm not able to stay for the entire meeting. So if there are additional questions that you have, I will put my email and Minerva's email in the chat. Just email both of us. And like I said, one of us will get back to you. We're trying to get back to everybody within 24 hours. And so if you send it to both of us, then that would help us meet that deadline. Thank you.
Katie, thanks so much for taking time to answer all those questions. I think that's phenomenal. And just to let everyone know, through our COVID portal page, there's also a whole bunch of other FAQs that we've been compiling, both electronically and through our parent meetings that we had last week. So please reference that for additional questions. There's one question here that appears twice in the chat, which is where can we find the calendar that you shared, and is that available?
I'll pop it in there before I sign off.
Wonderful. Thanks so much.
Yes. And for those of you who ever need to find a calendar, if you go to IMSA's homepage and you scroll down to kind of the middle section, the calendars are right there. It's titled Current Students, and then the academic calendar is the first quick link there. So always handy access, but I'll put it in the chat for everybody.
And I'll be addressing some questions or issues related to the calendar, but I'll talk about that when I have a turn.
Very much, Katie, for the updates. And we did put in the email addresses for you and Minerva in the chat as well. So thank you very much. There is one quick question I did want to ask to you, Katie, that was put in the chat, which is a parent had asked if Excel parents have to sign off on the paperwork again that you had mentioned.
Unmute. That is a great question. My assumption, and I guess I don't know with 100% certainty, my assumption is yes. When we had Excel, we were utilizing our repopulation protocols and our repopulation plan. And now we've actually evolved some of our plans based on the trends and based on the fact that we, instead of having a small population of students on campus, we're returning fully. So my ask would be yes, and I'm 99% sure that that's the case. If the answer is not yes, you need to recomplete it, then I will take the initiative to work with Dr. White to email all of those families. But 99% sure, yes, you should recomplete it.
Thank you very much. And then next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Comfort Akwaji Anderson, the Principal and Chief Academic Officer of IMSA.
All right. Thanks and greetings, everyone. It's always great to see you, and especially as we collaboratively work on bringing our students back. So I think last time I provided a lot of information. I have some updates and some additional information to share. I will start by just talking about this schedule. By now, our students should have received their schedules. We are getting lots and lots of questions. Mr. Glazer, who is our Dean of Student Support, is the one who works on a master schedule. There are lots of questions, especially pertaining to language placement. So one of the things that I want to say to you about that is that we have students who, of course, have taken a certain language for a certain number of years prior to coming to IMSA. Sometimes when they do the placement test, they may not place at the level that aligns to what they have already done prior to coming to IMSA. We are aware of that, and we're looking at the placement through a lens of equity and making some changes as we go along. Dr. Glazer and I and Mr. Glazer have been working on looking at some of those situations, and we will do our very best to make sure that we place our students where they need to be. So I ask for your patience and send us an email if something doesn't look right. I promise you we'll work on addressing those issues. The other thing that I wanted to mention was the famous schedule. Last time I talked to you about the MUD schedule. Maria, could you please give me sharing rights so I can just show you all a schedule really quick? I'll really appreciate that if that's possible.
Yes, give me.
All right.
Okay,
All right, let me see if I can share my, oh, not yet.
okay. Yes, now you're able to.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Let me see. All right, so I talked to you all about the schedule, but I thought, you know, I'll mock up one so that you can see what it actually looks like. So I worked with our OC, Dr. Dave Duvall, who is so good at scheduling. Anyway, so this is a sample schedule. So when we talk about the MUD schedule, this is what it looks like. Let me see, maybe I should do this so you can see better. There you go. So this is what this schedule would look like, a real schedule looks like this year. So students should, would know where they need to be and that sort of thing. So that's what our schedule looks like. As you can see down here, we have our additional programming that my colleague, Ms. Berger, oversees with our student life. We have navigation, we have lead, and a whole bunch of other residential life activities that are programming that we have for our students. So that's what the MUD schedule looks like. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and then I'm gonna give you some additional updates. The other thing that I want you to know, and this is huge, is that this year, we are doing something very different. You are aware because I mentioned this to you prior. We are doing convocation differently for, the structure of the first 2 days of school actually has changed for the following reasons. One, the capacity of our gym, based on the recent guidelines, of course, from CDC, means that we are going to be splitting the convocation into 2 groups. The limitation of the capacity in the cafeteria allows us to have 180 students in there at a time. So what we were planning on doing was we have one group in the gym, then we have a group in the cafeteria, but it turns out we cannot fit all of them in there. So now we're going to have a group in the auditorium. And of course, to make sure that we keep them safe, we have some activities that align with convocation that we're going to engage our students in as they are placed in these 2 locations. Now, the big change is that instead of having convocation in the morning and going back to class in the afternoon, we are going to have convocation in the morning, and the picnic that typically happens on Tuesday is now going to happen on Monday afternoon. In that way, we'll have the students do convocation and then do the picnic. The other factor that played into this decision is, again, our cafeteria, we have the new Lexington that we work with. It was not physically possible for them to be able to accommodate making meals for our students. And with the schedule that we had, the students who start convocation, the convocation ceremony at 8:30 will not be able to eat until around noon. And then the second group that would be starting at 10:30 will also not be able to eat anything until afternoon. So this was not a viable option. And so we had to make those changes. It's not reflected on the calendar. When Ms. Berger was talking about the calendar, I said, I'll make a comment. These changes are not reflected on our calendar because we literally just made these decisions to accommodate the situation that we're in. So I wanted to make sure that I share this with you all because I'm pretty sure someone may look at the schedules, and if it doesn't match what we're doing, you may question what's going on. So that's why we did that. So please let me know if you have questions. Always send emails to print off. And the reason we have you send questions to print off is we'll be able to, my principal office team would see those questions and we'll be able to get back to you quicker because we get a huge volume of emails. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you all is that the attendance clerk who used to be located in Ms. Berger's office is now going to be part of the principal's office. It's not a lot of change, that is visible, but it's also important because, the person is no longer going to be under the student affairs office. But I'll update you with any additional changes as they come. We have hired someone to replace our attendance clerk, retired. A lot of you knew her. She was so personable and knew our students very closely, Brenda. So we have a new attendance clerk that I would introduce to you all sometime soon. Those are some of the quick updates that I have, and I would be more than happy to answer questions, including, I think I saw a question about Canvas. If parents were going to have Canvas training, the answer is yes, we will maybe not provide training like we do with faculty in terms of scheduling a time and have you all come in. We will send information that would help you with how to access Canvas. So we have that in our plans. So I'll answer more questions as we go along.
Dr. Agwaji Anderson, it looks like most of the questions here are student life related.
Okay.
So we'll make sure at the end of our conversation, we save the transcript from the chat and provide those to Ms. Berger so that we can add those to our FAQs. So I know that some of the answers are in the Return to Learn and Work plan. However, I can empathize that when there's a 50-page plan, it's hard to pick up all the details. And, from my experience in opening a school during COVID last September, the clarity doesn't happen until you actually are on campus because there's so many details in place. However, we'll work hard to make sure we provide these answers in our FAQs. And Ms. Berger also mentioned that, if anyone wants to email her directly, we're happy to provide a direct response.
Thank you, very much, Dr. Comfort. We really appreciate the updates you gave.
No problem.
Okay, next, we will be presenting some executive committee member updates from the PAC. And first we have our treasurer, Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Alex Williams, this is my second year serving as PAC treasurer. I have a rising senior, his name is AJ at IMSA today, so we're looking forward to this final year to see what lies next. I do want to welcome all of the incoming parents of sophomores. We've all been there. It'll be a great experience. So we look forward to meeting you all in person as soon as we can. What I'm going to share, if you can go to the next slide. This is more awareness for new parents. So IMSA has IMSA PAC has 3 separate operating budgets, and that's what I'm sharing on the screen. But I just want to draw your attention to the red stars because that has the important details. So first of all, if we work from the left to right, top down. So top left, we do get our funding based off a generous grant each year from the school. And so that's what kind of provides us with the revenue we need to operate each year. So you'll see that in the top left. Down at the bottom left, you can see in our main account, we're planning for expenses of just under $25,000. That does represent a deficit for us, but we do have reserve from prior year operating budgets that allow us to still accommodate what we have planned for the year. So our main budget is shown on the left-hand side. Then moving over to the right side, we also have a operating budget for our bus services. So any parents who live in various parts of the states, you will have the opportunity to sign up for transportation for your students. And so income generated there is based off contributions from parents who sign up for those services. And then you can see at the bottom, it is supplemented as well by our reserve funds. So we do take a little bit of a hit there. And then our final budget is for our senior banquet. Again, this is one of those operating expenses that whatever expenses we incur, parents make a contribution who will be attending the senior banquet. So we do take a little bit of a hit there, but again, our reserves are able to cover that. So we have 3 operating budgets. And then finally, I did share our account balances down at the bottom in the middle. Last year, we opened up a savings account to hold some of our reserves from previous year. We do know we'll be using a significant chunk of those reserves this year as we get back into the swing of things. But overall, we do have a healthy budget. And then I do want to share, if you have questions about the budget at any time, you can feel free to send an email to imsapactrez@gmail.com, and that'll come to me and I'll be able to follow up. So that's imsapactrez@gmail.com. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Alex. And I did put your email address in the chat for anybody that would like that. So thank you again for presenting that. And next is me. So my name is Maria Tianco Ramos. I am the president this year. It's my 2nd year serving as president, and look forward to meeting a lot of families this year in person. I live in Aurora. I have 2 kids at IMSA this year. Reese, who is a senior this year, Olivia, who is a junior. Sebastian is our oldest, and he graduated from IMSA this past year, class of 2021. He'll be going to DePaul this fall. And then our youngest is Ava, who is starting 8th grade this year. My husband is Jim, who is the technology committee co-chair, and you'll be hearing from him in a little bit. So again, looking forward to serving IMSA again, or the families and IMSA itself, and being involved again this year. It's been a wonderful way to get to know other families and also to get to know more about the school that my kids are attending. So one of the things that makes the PAC such a great thing to be involved in are the parent volunteers. So these are just some pictures from over the years of some of our volunteers. So hopefully we'll have a lot more pictures like this from this year as well. And I'd also like to introduce our vice president, who is Katerina Kazukis. Unfortunately, she's not able to join us today, but her son, Evan, is a rising junior this year. Sorry, junior this year. So you'll hear from her in the future meetings as well. And next, I'd like to introduce Kyle Blay, who is the secretary.
Hi everyone, I'm Kyle. I'm secretary. I don't really have any updates. I have 4 children, 2 of whom are at IMSA. I have a senior this year and a sophomore this year. I look forward to seeing everyone. I hope those of you who have not been involved in the PAC too much will, in the past, will look and get involved with our stuff going on. We'll have some stuff later on in this meeting talking about ways to get involved. And so I hope to see you both at IMSA in general and especially with PAC. Thanks.
Thank you, Kyle. And next we will have committee updates. So first is our academic committee, Moju and Gabriella.
Good morning, everyone. This is Moju Fatureshi. I have been a part of academic committee. This is my 3rd year in that committee. Next slide, please. I have we live in Wheaton, and my student is Serena Gasek. She's a senior this year. And we have a contact email address for our committee. My co-chair is Gabriella, and I will let Gabriella introduce herself. Gabriella, next slide.
Hi, good morning. I'm Gabriela Lima. I live in North Aurora, 10 minutes from IMSA. I have 2 kids, 2 daughters. The older one graduated from IMSA in 2019. And Julie, she's going to be a senior this year. Thank you.
So our next slide will talk about what do we do in the academic committee. The primary purpose of academic committee is to facilitate communication and involvement between administration, faculty, and parents on academic matters. Our discussions generally center around academic concerns that affect many students at IMSA, and not just one student. Unless the parent wants to stay anonymous, we're there to have a voice for those parents as well. This doesn't mean we're not encouraging you to reach out to faculty and staff directly. It's just that when there's a concern of we listen to parents, we have internal meetings within the people that are parents and interested in this committee to talk about the issues that we want to bring up with the principal's office, and we meet with principal and her admin on a regular basis, and we bring these concerns, and we have a kind of two-bit conversation. We bring up information to them, and we take information that they want us to distribute to parents as well. So that's our role. We are looking to add co-chairs to this committee because Gabriella and I are both parents of seniors. We do have a list of 50 plus people that are interested in this committee, and we appreciate that. We're in the process of setting up meetings so that we get to talk to everybody and tell them about what it is and the details, the commitment that this committee has. And then hopefully we can put more the co-chairs on this committee so that after like this year, we'll have somebody to carry it forward. Thank you. And this is my update for today.
Thank you very much, Moju and Gabriella.
Sure.
And next we have the Hospitality Committee. So we don't currently have any chairs for that committee. So if you're interested in being a co-chair for that, please email us at the imsapac@gmail.com. And what the Hospitality Committee does is coordinates refreshments and other amenities for all PAC meetings, parent days, teacher appreciation week, and other PAC sponsored functions. So again, feel free to send us an email if you are interested in finding out more information about the committee and either becoming a chair or being involved in that committee. Next, we have the Student Life Committee. We have Ellen and Susan.
Hi, thank you. This is Susan. Ellen and I are both very excited to be part of the Student Life Committee this year. We both have rising juniors, so we haven't actually been on campus, so we're pretty excited for the next coming weeks and the school year to actually be able to operate on campus. Ellen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Susan. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. My name is Ellen Hu, and I have a rising junior, James Penn. So we are very excited everything we can go in person this year. So yeah, we live in Chicago, yes, with my husband and other son. So thank you, everyone.
Marie, if you want it, there you go. And
Yeah.
that's me, Susan Jones. I have 3 boys. My oldest is Liam Indigo. He'll be a rising junior this year. He's a little nervous and excited both to live on campus. My younger son, Sean, is going into 8th grade, and my middle son, Sean's going into 8th grade, and my youngest, Callum, will be a 5th grader this year. If you want to go to the next slide, please. So Student Life Committee, we work on a variety of activities in partnership with Student Affairs at IMSA. And the main thing we do is facilitate the Wing Parent Program. Wing parents come into the wings a couple times a year and put on events or bring snacks, food to the kids, something to make them feel more at home while they're on campus. We have an email, it's listed there, pacsdolife@gmail.com. We also have a Wing Parents Facebook page, 2021-2022 IMSA Wing Parents. If anyone's interested in joining, would love to have you. I will say that we have 51 wonderful parents who have signed up to be wing parents so far this year. So that's great. We love that. We do need wing parents in halls 04 and 05. So if you have students in 04 or 05, we have very few wing parents. So please contact Ellen and I. We'll get you set up, and we hope to have a meeting early September to get everyone pulled together. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Susan and Ellen. And these are just some pictures from some of the past wing parent events. As you can see, a lot of it revolves around food. So thank you. And a lot of fun as well. And one thing that the Student Life Committee in the past has done is put together a sheet of lexicons. So if you go onto this link or scan this QR code, you'll get a little cheat sheet of some of the things that you'll see for those of you who have students who have not been on campus yet. Or if you have not had a chance to have a conversation with an IMSA student, you may hear that they have a lot of abbreviations and it might not make sense right away. So this little cheat sheet should help you figure out some of those things that they're talking about. The next committee is the Senior Banquet Committee. And currently, again, there's openings for chairs for the Senior Banquet Committee. What the Senior Banquet is it's usually held the night before graduation, and it is to celebrate the accomplishments of the graduating class. So this is an event where families are invited as well as IMSA staff and faculty. So it's just a great way for everyone to get together and celebrate before the students graduate the next day. And it's usually run and organized by parents of sophomores and juniors. So if you're interested in volunteering, please send an email to the imsapac@gmail.com. And later on, we'll also be sharing a link to the information form that you can fill out and let us know which committees you might be interested in participating in. So either email or fill out that information if you're interested. Next is Friday Fest, and we have Dominic, Carrie, and Melissa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carrie, and along with Melissa and Dominic, we're the Friday Fest co-chairs. An interesting fact about the three of us is that we're all parents of juniors, so none of us have actually seen a Friday Fest in person. We are lucky, though, because we have parents of juniors and some recent graduates on our committee who have been showing us the ropes. The next three slides will explain what Friday Fest was like pre-COVID. Next slide, please. Friday Fest has been described as the world's largest potluck dinner. 5 or 6 times a year, parents donate a variety of food, and they serve it to over 350 hungry IMSA students in the old CAF. The cool thing about this is that the kids are able to enjoy a variety of delicious foods, and it's a great excuse for parents to be on campus and see their kids. Next slide, please. Typically, parents who live closer to the school will donate homemade food, and those who live farther away are able to contribute by ordering from local restaurants or stores and have those items delivered. Next slide, please. It really does take a village to pull off an event this large, so volunteers are needed to help with setup, serving, and cleanup. The Friday Fest Committee is going to be meeting Tuesday, August 17th at 7:00 p.m. and we would love to have you join us. If you would like to attend the meeting, please send an email to fridayfest002@gmail.com and we will send you a link to the invitation. I wanted to let everyone know that on Tuesday, the Friday Fest Committee was able to meet with representatives from IMSA to discuss the school's guidelines regarding Friday Fest to see what it would look like this year. We came up with a plan for the first Friday Fest that will be fun for the kids while still meeting all of the COVID protocols. Next slide, please. The first Friday Fest is going to be held Friday, September 24th. It will involve desserts only and will be held in the individual halls. We will need donations from parents of individually packaged homemade or store-bought desserts. More details and signups will be emailed when the event gets a little bit closer, but I wanted to let everyone know so they can mark your calendars. And we want you to start thinking about the amazing desserts that you'd like to donate and some creative ways to package them. We're really looking forward to working with you to make this event special for the kids. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carrie, Melissa, and Dominic. We look forward to all of those fun events that you have planned out. Next is the Multicultural Committee. So the Multicultural Committee is to help ensure and encourage involvement in the PAC by all ethnic and racial groups and support the cultural activities led by IMSA student groups. So the IMSA student groups, you typically put on about 4 cultural shows a year, which includes Diwali, Harambe, Lunar, and Casa de Alma. So the Multicultural Committee will help to support those. And also the committee will be holding meetings with parents as needed to ensure that their diversity concerns and needs are being heard and addressed. So we do have openings for committee chairs, as well as those that are interested in participating in the committee. There is a meeting for those interested in the Multicultural Committee on Wednesday, August 18th at 7 p.m. So please send us an email at theimsapac@gmail.com for an invitation to that meeting. And next is our Transportation Committee. We have Abhijit and Jill.
Good morning, everyone. Name is Abhijit Patkar. My son, Rajan, who just graduated as a senior last year from IMSA, and my younger one, Rohan, who you see on the right there, he is joining as a sophomore this year. We live in Peoria, Illinois, and my co-chair, Jill, is also on the call. So Jill.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Abhijit. My name is Jill Sigliana. I have a junior, Miles, who you see in the picture. I also have a daughter who attends our local middle school at Edwardsville, and we're thrilled to have students to transport this year and look forward to recruiting some helpers for our various bus stops.
That's right. Talking about the bus stops here. So there are a few updates that were sent in the student newsletter as well, and you might see those bullet points here. Up until last 3 to 4 years, we have been providing 2 routes, one route going to Peoria, the other one goes through Bloomington, through Springfield to Fairview Heights. You can see the bus calendar on the right-hand side bottom there. Those are called 6 extended weekends. And that's when the IMSA campus is closed. That means that you have to pick up your students. And this bus service is actually really useful for parents to have their kids brought up to their home. As I said earlier, 2 routes there, and just in very initial estimates. I mean, this all depends on how many families sign up, but you can see the amount of dollars that you'll be spending for the whole year. For the 12 one-way round trips. That means that the 6 long weekends. Again, the student newsletter covered it. There will be 2 series of surveys. The first survey coming out as a pre-registration survey starting on August 23rd. What that will do is that will make sure that we understand how many families want to participate. Then we can set aside some cost to be shared with the following survey, which is the registration survey. That's when you will end up paying for this service. If you have any questions, please do contact us at that email address down there, imsapacbus@gmail.com. And Jill is monitoring the questions. So if there are any questions, please feel free to pop them up in the chat here. Thank you.
And Abhijit and Jill, if you could just share with them how families can also help at the stops.
Oh, the volunteers and the stop coordinators.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That information will be shared as part of the pre-registration survey. That's where there will be a question specifically in that registration survey that says, would you like to volunteer as a stop coordinator? And it will have the duties of what the stop coordinators are supposed to help us with.
Perfect.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you, Abhijit and Jill. Okay, next we have the Technology Committee. That's Jim, Jose, and Charlie.
Hi, I'm Jim Ramos. I live in Aurora. My daughter and son are a current IMSA student. My daughter is a junior and my son is a senior. And we have Sebastian, who also just graduated this past May or June. And we have a 8th grader. Let's see. Next slide, please. The other co-chair is Jose Rodriguez. He's from Naperville. He has 2 kids at IMSA. One is a junior and Vanessa, and a daughter, Laura, incoming sophomore, and his wife, Carmen. Abhijit? I mean, Charlie,
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, I'm Charlie Jagannathan.
introduce yourself.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Okay, Charlie is from Streamwood. He has 2 students, or 2 kids. Placida, she's a sophomore, and he also has a 7th grader, Benjamin. His wife is Prasantal. What the technology committee does is coordinates a virtual portion with in-person portion of PAC meetings. We send PAC web page updates to IMSA. We maintain PAC email addresses and social media accounts. We moderate the official PAC Facebook group, and we help with any technology related issues for the PAC executive board and committee chairs. Here's the Facebook group QR code if you're interested. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, Jose, and Charlie. Okay, next we have Missy, Regional Representatives Committee.
Hi, can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me or no?
Yes.
Okay, great, sorry. I am traveling, so hopefully I will have a signal the whole time. Missy, this is our first year we've had a committee chair for regional representatives. Hopefully you have all gotten some information on your region. There's 10 regions. Illinois is split into 10 different regions, and depending on your zip code, the first 3 digits of your zip code is what region you fall in. There are some towns that have 3 different regions splitting up their small town. But the biggest thing that the regional reps do is put on the back to school regional picnic so that people can start connecting with people that live near you that are IMSA families. Most of those have already happened. If we could go next slide, please. But we still have like 4 more today and tomorrow. Hopefully that'll come up. Okay, so here's the list of the 10 regions and regional reps. Region 6, which is mainly northeastern Illinois, kind of from Barrington north and all the way over to the lake north of Chicago. If you're in that region, we really could use a regional representative. Now, regional representative outside of hosting that picnic, also this year, we would like to expand and just maybe connect quarterly with parents, maybe help, although there's a bus for down south. If you live in Zion, kind of far from IMSA, and maybe getting a carpool with a couple other families would be helpful if your child wants to come home and not everybody has to do that round trip to IMSA. So these are our current regional reps. If you only see one person listed, we'd love to have some help, but if you'd like to help put on maybe a quarterly meetup or even a Zoom meetup, just for families to get to know each other better, that would be great. The other thing we're wanting to do this year that hasn't been done in the past is schedule next year's picnics this year, because I know with a lot of parks, you have to book that that shelter like a year in advance. So when we're trying to get a regional rep in July and throw a picnic in early August, because we really only have a couple of week window between, okay, now we know who's in, and before school starts, it's really hard to get a shelter and get all this stuff going. So we're going to be ahead of the game this coming year And so if you're interested in helping, you can send an email to me at imsapacregionalreps@gmail.com, which you see in that blue box. And then if you want to reach out to your region, the email below that, it says region and then number sign. So where the number sign is, you're going to put your region number in. So for me, I live in region 7. I would email region7.imsapac@gmail.com, and it will go to those regional representatives with any questions or anything we have. Can we go to the next slide, please? Like I said, we have 3, or actually, I'm sorry, Susan, the number 5, region 5 picnic. I had updated it, but it had gotten updated too late. So region 5 is meeting today as well. Everybody should have gotten the whole regional picnic list, but I'm sure it's on our PAC Facebook page as well. But the Rockford area, Rock Cut is happening today down in Bellevue. Region 5 is happening today, both 1 to 3, and then tomorrow region 7 and 9 are happening. So if you could not make your region and you want to drive to these regions, that's great. If you need information for the Bellevue one, please send me an email and I will give you that address, but that's happening this afternoon as well. So thank you for all that did come. I know I helped host the Chicago one last weekend, and then one for Region 6 also last weekend. And I think it's been a fun time had by all to have seniors answer some questions for the sophomores and juniors who haven't been on campus, for parents to ask their questions. And so we really want to stay connected, regionally, to help with, like I said, getting kids to and from, just connecting with other families that live close to us, just to get the kids connected, get the parents connected. So if you would like to be involved in that, you can fill out that form for all the committees and just say, yes, I'm interested in helping out my region, or feel free to send me an email. Thanks, Maria.
Thanks, Missy. And if someone could put in the information about the other picnic that's happening today in the chat, that would be wonderful. So thank you to all the regional representatives who have volunteered to be regional representatives this year. We really do appreciate that and look forward to having more ways for families to connect. And here's just a map of the different regions that Missy was talking about. These are also available on the PAC webpage, which we will have the link to that later on in this presentation. Next, we'd like to introduce the IMSA resident counselors, Mia and Raphael.
Do you want to go first, Mia?
Sure. Hi, how are you guys doing? I'm trying to start my video. Hi, I am the 1503 D-Wing RC. It's a pleasure to meet you guys. And I'm very excited to be starting this new school year with you guys. So, hey.
And I am Raphael. I am the 1501 D-Wing RC. This is going to be my 5th year I'm starting up. I'm also an alum from IMSA, so when it comes to dealing with your students and kind of understanding what a lot of them might be going through during a typical year, I usually can connect with them a little bit more. I do want to say, obviously, as we've all been talking about, this year is like going to be like a lot of firsts, and things are just different because of all the precautions and things like that. So, we'll just all work together and get through stuff. The RCs throughout the year are always here to answer questions. I think someone mentioned earlier the topic of like some IMSA parents have been getting like IMSA emails sent to their spam. That actually was something that started happening to me at the end of last school year. Some parent emails were getting sent to spam. So I do try to make a note to check those now. But so if you're ever emailing an RC and they don't respond right away, send them a second email. And if you're still having troubles, feel free to also like tell your students to like, hey, yell at your RC and tell them I'm trying to get a hold of them. We have like the apartment phones too, but sometimes the phones have issues or we're not always in our apartment. But yeah, we will always be here to try to communicate and kind of update you as we get more information, and trying to just make sure all the students are successful this year with everything new going on.
Thank you. And real quick question for you. Are there any last minute things that you would, that you want parents to remember to have their students bring with them to campus?
Or not bring.
Or not bring? Yeah.
I might say, just since it's going to be the start of the year, don't worry about, you know, trying to get everything you can in one go. If you don't have to, you know, kind of starting small and building up. Definitely make sure adequate lighting and whatever type of chair your student's going to be comfortable in, like desk lamp. And then, yeah, I think those are just like the main things to watch out for every year. And then there's also, I believe there's a link somewhere online to on the IMSA website with just reminders of typical things for parents to bring. So definitely have a look out for that. And that does cover a lot of the items. I see a question real quick for shower curtains. I don't believe shower curtains will be provided during the school year. I think that was just something for Excel. I could be wrong, but I would probably bring one just in case. Maybe like a shower mat too, if that's something your students would prefer.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mia and Raphael. And good luck and have fun for this school year. And next, just wanted to touch on the college and academic counselors, CACs. Usually we have someone from the CAC office that joins us at our meetings, but just wanted to share with you a few things. The CACs return to the office on August 18th. The ad drop sign-up sheets are going to be available in the CAC office on Monday, August 23rd. And also ad drop day is August 25th, which is an I day from 8:30 to 4:30 a.m. So those are for if your students are, or your children are wanting to add or drop classes. Next, we have updates from the coordinator of campus activities, which is Brittany Walker. And I'm not sure if Brittany is on the call with us today. Oh yes, Brittany, are you on?
Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. Yes, I am here. I believe there might be a slide probably later. I'm not sure if it's actually tied with me, but just wanted to let you, it is, there it is. We are going to be having our in-person carnival this year, which is an exciting part of being in the IMSA experience. With that, we have a little bit of stipulations, I guess. If it rains, the event will go from being a family-friendly event to just students. And that's because we'll be in different parts of the building and a lot of our interior spaces have capacity. So hope for now that we will have decent weather and we'll all be able to come with our parents and siblings. But that event will take place on August 28th from 12 until 4. We are looking for volunteers. So the sign up genius is on here, amazing. I did put it on the PAC page and it will go out in an email. The email just won't be approved probably until Monday morning. So please look at that. There's just some games, our prize table, some setup and cleanup volunteer spaces that we'd like to fill to kind of supplement what staff is able to accommodate at that time. It's a pretty big event. We have some smaller carnival games, inflatable things, some actual carnival rides. There will be food for sale. So lots going on. It's a great event. This will be my first time having a real life carnival in person. We did have a brief senior week, very miniature version of carnival last year, but this is on a much broader scale. So look out for lots of emails from me for volunteer help on different things. I loved my time working with PAC last year. You all were very, very helpful in a lot of the things that I did, especially senior week. So that's what I'm here for, is helping your students kind of fill in all of the time in between their academics. That's kind of what we do in student life and then of course in res life. So we want to make sure that they're having that overall IMSA experience, and that's a lot of these fun engagement activities. So we hope to see you all on August 28th, and let's hope for the best weather ever.
Thank you very much, Brittany. And next we have Student Council. We have Pranav and Sabrina, the Student Council PAC liaisons.
Yeah, hello parents, faculty, and staff, and thank you for that introduction, Ms. Ramos. My name is Pranav, and I also served as the student body's liaison to PAC and IMSA's parent groups over the course of last year as well, and I had the chance to meet, speak, and work with many of all of you at PAC meetings and town halls, mainly focusing on dual PAC student council initiatives. I'm looking forward to working with you all in person over the coming year. Sabrina Zhang will also be joining me at some of our meetings this year, but unfortunately she was not able to make it today. I'm really looking forward to establishing the open channels of communication that are really necessary for institutional productivity between all of the invested groups at IMSA, mostly in order to enhance the primary student experience, which is really the foundational unit of IMSA's constituency. And student council is the primary intermediary between the student body, our administration, faculty, and staff, as well as parents. And we prioritize the implementation of collaborative initiatives that really adequately represent the best interests of our student body. Over the summer, we've already been really busy planning several initiatives and programs, including the Big SIB program, which initiates and builds support systems and student networks for over the last 2 years, 1,200 students in a residential high school setting, which kind of acclimates our incoming sophomores to campus and also ensures that they have upperclassmen peers and friends who are able to provide that guidance that's really helpful over the course of the year. In addition, the Lexington Committee is also preparing to meet with our newest Lexington head chefs to present student dietary and nutritional needs to ensure that the student body really receives the equitable food service that it really needs throughout the upcoming years. I hope that brief introduction was really helpful in better understanding student council, which is the primary advocate for student interests, as well as myself. And I'm looking forward to working with you all. I'd love to answer any of your questions or concerns, and I'm going to leave my email in the chat for everyone. I'm looking forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pranav. We are looking forward to working with you and Sabrina as well throughout the year. Next, we have the Campus Activities Board, which is Gerardo, the CAP Director.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. So I'm Gerardo. Some people call me Jerry. Either one is fine. So I'm this year's Campus Activities Board Director. So I work with 7 other students and we lead a lot of the events. So homecoming, clash. For sophomore parents, those are probably new, especially class. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff planned. We do have to make some arrangements because of occupancy limits, but we plan on having a great time with homecoming, and we have a lot of stuff planned for the upcoming year. I'll also drop my email in the chat if any of you guys have questions, or if your students have questions. But I also urge all parents to have their students check their emails for the sibling program email, because our first sibling kickoff event is August 21st, which is the Saturday or the Sunday we come back. Thank you.
Thank you for those updates, and we look forward to working with you as well throughout the year. Next, we'll be talking about move-in volunteers. So as everyone has been alluding to, it's just in a matter of days where we have students moving into IMSA's campus or onto IMSA's campus. So we do need volunteers for help with directing people and helping to sanitize cards between use on move-in days. So the times for that, those are approximate times, are Thursday, August 19th between 12 and 4, Friday, August 20th between 12 and 4, and Saturday, August 21st between, I think that's 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Otherwise, that's a very, very long day, but 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And also please do not sign up to volunteer for a day when you also plan to be helping your own child move in. So if you are available to volunteer, please complete the form on the link below or scan the QR code. And also we will be sharing these slides as well as the recording of this meeting. So don't feel like you have to frantically type in these links. We will be sharing these with you as well. And also we did share with you a lot of the different committees that we have on the PAC. So there are really numerous ways that you can get involved. And as we've shared, it's a great way to not only get to know other families, other parents and guardians at IMSA, but also to at some times be able to see your children in their element when you come to campus to help out in the different ways. So fill out this form or scan the QR code if you're interested in finding out more information about how to get involved, or if you're interested in being a co-chair or committee member of any of these committees. And we will have either someone from the PAC or one of the committee chairs reach out to you. Another thing that was put together last year by a partnership with our Student Life Committee and Friday Fest Committee was an IMSA Cravings and Comfort Food Cookbook, and it's filled with recipes submitted from IMSA parents and guardians, students, alumni, faculty, and staff. And so, we are happy to share that with you. It is a free download. Just scan the QR code there to get that. And it is also available on our PAC webpage. So our upcoming meeting dates are as shown. The ones in asterisks are the ones that are held during parent days. So we usually kick off parent day, and it's a shortened meeting. It's about 45 minutes. And that's usually held in person, like right before parent day. And then the rest of the meetings we will be having in person. It's scheduled for in person currently, and it's usually in the N2 space. So when you come into the IMSA main building, it's to the left. So if you want to put that and save the dates for those. Saturday, April 23rd is College Day, so that time is to be determined because we usually schedule that around that event. And we are also working, the Technology Committee had mentioned that we are working to be able to have both the in-person and virtual portion available. So for parents and guardians who are not able to make it to campus, we still want to make sure that you're involved in those meetings. Also, because we will have a healthy number of events going on this year, we do have the PAC calendar of events, and it is a Google Calendar, so you should be able to save those dates onto your own calendars. There's the link and the QR code, and that is also on our PAC webpage. Also, we wanted to share with you the IMSA Board of Trustees meetings. You can click on any of these links that have the dates, also more information about the Board of Trustees, as well as the meeting links and where the information is that is shared closer to those meeting dates. And we do want to welcome any of the Board of Trustees that were able to join us today. And hopefully you're learning more about everything that the PAC does, and we appreciate that. So to contact us, you can email us at theimsapac@gmail.com. That is our general email address, and we will be glad to forward those emails to the appropriate people that can get you the answers that you're looking for. Also, you can visit our web page, which is on here, or scan this QR code to find out more information about IMSA PAC. And also, we do have a YouTube channel where we have the recordings of our meetings on there, as this one will be available next week. And again, you can scan the QR code, and we will also be sharing that link. And now I'd like to open it up to questions or comments, and you can ask questions from any of our committee members or any of our prior speakers, any general questions that you might have. And also for the chat moderators, if any of you have questions that you see that are coming up that you think would be great for to be answered here, please let us know.
Maria, I have a question.
Yes.
I tried to go in Canvas for these forms that Katie Berger talked about. My Google form doesn't work. I don't know. Everything's dimmed. I cannot fill up the form. I don't know. Just.
Yeah, so are we supposed to just sign up into the Canvas as parents with parent account, and there would be a form to fill out, right? Yeah, I cannot get
exactly what I did, but by the end, they don't let me fill up the form. Say sign in, sign in, and I cannot fill up the form.
Same here.
Yeah, it's not working.
Dr. Kwaji Anderson, are you still on? Would you happen to know for that Canvas issue what they would need?
Yes, I have received some emails about that challenge, and I am working with my colleague, Dr. Robinson, and our Canvas team, our Canvas support team, to see what's going on there. So I will look into that for you.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson.
Hi, this is Bala. I think it opens in a new tab, so you have to switch the tab to see the form.
Yeah, turning off the pop-up blocker still doesn't help.
No, it's not pop-up, it's a new tab. In the browser, it opens in a new tab.
Yeah, it's not opening for some of us. Yeah.
For me, it's opening, but ask for sign in, and I click in sign in and keeps showing me sign in, sign in, sign in. I cannot sign in anywhere. Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm going to clarify is whether the issue is on our side, on our MSA website, because Canvas, there's a company from whom we purchase Canvas. So there are certain things that we can control and others that we can, but I'll help to see if we can sort through those questions, just to make sure we double check and make sure it's not on our side.
So Dr. Kwaji Anderson, for the parents who are unable to complete those forms online, how would you like them to communicate to your office that they weren't able to complete it due to the technical issues?
So be sure you send an email to Minerva, our student affairs, because remember that we want to make sure that, parents fill out all the forms that are needed. So make sure that they know, and then I'll work with Ms. Berger for us to make sure that we take away or clear the barriers that are getting in the way for you to do that. So just let Minerva know.
Thank you. What other questions do all of you have?
There's a question for Cab.
Go ahead.
When is homecoming?
Oh, I just answered it in the chat. So homecoming week is the September 27th. That's when we'll have the kickoff events and everything else, midday and our night events. And then the pep rally and the homecoming game is Friday, October 1st. And then the homecoming dance is October 2nd. So yeah.
Can you please explain what midday is?
Oh, so midday is, it's typically the lunch period. Some students choose to eat lunch or not, but this year the midday will be extended so that there will be 4 lunch periods. And so midday is just this short break in between all the classes where students can go and eat lunch.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Maitri, and this is a specific question to the tech group. Are you guys, anyone experiencing problems with the PowerSchool app? I cannot see any information loaded in the PowerSchool app. However, the website is working just fine. I was just wondering if anyone has issues with it.
Okay, so I'm going to mention something quick. I don't know if this answers the question, and then I'll let the tech people answer the question. So we have a situation where you all know we use Salesforce, which is where like all the documents that you send, I have someone in my office who actually makes sure that we check to make sure that you have all the verification forms that need to be sent to us. Sometimes that software doesn't communicate very well with PowerSchool. So when we go into Salesforce, whatever information or documents you've sent are there, but when we go to PowerSchool, it doesn't show up. So it may be connected, it may not be connected. I'm just making you all aware that we have that issue. So I'll turn it over to the tech people.
Do we have anybody here from the tech team on the call from IMSA?
From where?
From IMSA. I think they had a question about PowerSchool. The question was about PowerSchool. So
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, the PowerSchool, again, some of those questions may be answered by someone from my office. So for example, Mr. Gazak, because he does all the PowerSchool stuff, or it may be from a PowerSchool, other PowerSchool tech folks like Fred. And so, so I'll make sure that I contact all of them to see who can answer that question.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Anderson. One other question that I had was, what is the primary app or the tool that you are requesting or encouraging parents and students to use? Is it PowerSchool or Canvas?
Okay, so they two serve different purposes. So, so yes, you need to use both, but they two serve different purposes, and we'll do our very best to share with you what the expectations are for PowerSchool or for Canvas. So for example, Canvas is where faculty create all of their courses. That's where they're housed. And then of course, PowerSchool is where the grades and everything are stored and reported. So you have to access, and students need to access both.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
So I apologize. I have a follow-on question to that, Doctor. So my son has gone in and filled out all the forms that he was supposed to on Canvas. We filled out all the other forms through the other portal. Are parents also required to go to Canvas and fill out any forms?
Not necessarily. However, we want to make sure that parents are able to access Canvas, so we will provide directions for how to make that happen.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. And it looks like we have time for just one more question. So if anybody has a last question, and obviously, if you do have any questions beyond what we can answer for today, please either send an email to the imsapac@gmail.com or the appropriate department at IMSA. So do we have any other questions?
Maria, if I could just offer clarification, because there have been questions about PowerSchool and Canvas. So these are two different systems by two different companies that we try to connect, and I will acknowledge that it hasn't been easy for us to do that. They serve different purposes. PowerSchool is an information system, and Canvas is a learning management system, for academic reasons. And so I apologize for any experience that you parents may face on the user side. That's not our intention. And we want to actually know about where there are any difficulties so that we can troubleshoot in helping these systems talk to each other and also make it easier for you to access. So we recognize that there are some bumps along the way, but both of those systems can have some utility for you. And we don't want you to feel like you're missing out as well. So we appreciate your patience as we learn about any hiccups in the system.
Yeah. And I just want to add quick, for those of you who are very comfortable with technology, even if you're not, Canvas is actually owned, or the folks who design Canvas, it's called infrastructure. So they have a lot of tips for parents. And so, like I was saying earlier, we want to make sure that we sort out the problems to make sure that it's not on our side, or it might be on the infrastructure side. So if you want to go to infrastructure, they have tips and troubleshooting strategies and ideas for users.
Thank you, Dr. Glazer and Dr. Akwaji Anderson. So again, I wanted to just thank all of the parents and guardians who joined us on the call today, and also all of our guest speakers from IMSA and from the student groups. We really do appreciate you being on the call to share a lot of this information to all of our families. So we do look forward to having some of you, or not all of you, join us again in our future PAC meetings. So just wanted to remind everyone that if you have any questions, still, please email us at the imsapac@gmail.com. We will be glad to forward it on to those that will be able to hopefully provide you with the answers that you're looking for. But also wanted to remind you as well that our next upcoming meeting is during Parent Day. So that is Saturday, September 18th, and it will be at 8 a.m. And the information will be sent out whenever they send out the information about Parent Day as well. So again, thank you everyone, and hopefully you are able to enjoy your weekend before your children move into IMSA. So thanks again, and everyone have a great rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.